So I saw Furry Force recently, and, well, it's something. Furry Force didn't quite awaken something in me. Rather, it brought back something that hadn't left in a while. And no, it's not a fursuit, and it's not a scaly. No, yes, the suit has scalies. Yes, I have the handpiece depicting a scaly creature. But no, I'm not one of those. No. It brought up the part of me that thoroughly enjoys the cursed way too much. Ooh. It was so sexually suggestive. Here's a quote. I drowned in a sea of wolf cum. Or is it, I drowned in a sea of wolf sperm. And by the way, 90% of the population gets wiped out by a tidal wave of, quote, milkies, end quote. Shouldn't be funny. Episode 3 is a doozy. Yep, definitely government business. Yeah. Hey, what do you have? What? Okay, no. That series is a... Please watch it if you can handle some strong cursed content. Not much cursed stuff makes me react like that. Unless you count the click. And pretty much anything he does involving a subword. Well, how am I gonna clean this up? How long will it take? I don't know. Wow, it's still recording. It's more time than I thought. Huh. It's giving me back the 10 minutes it gypped me out of. Well, let's go with how theoretically possible things in the series are and are not. So first off, a supersized wolf futanari with pink undergarments. Well, it's a pink bikini, not really undergarments, but still. A giant wolf humanoid futanari with a pink bikini on. It looks like that. Is a bikini. Is it possible? Well, if it's on Earth, then yes. Only in a given time period. Would it be able to exist for very long without being, lightheaded, oxygen deprived, partially, constantly being knocked out unconscious, phasing in and out of being awake and being asleep? And it probably wouldn't have much power behind it. But could a centaur wolf, a human lion, a squirrel human, and a cow human jump into the air and stay there, form a ball, create a bright light, and then form that? No, there's not enough mass to go around. I'm not so sure they can make it that undense. So I'm gonna say no. And what would be generating the light? Would it be their Yif energy? Now, what about the fur squad? Oh, furry squad? Furry force being involved with official government business. Yes. If they can do what they did to the one who caught the president and is keeping him hostage, well, they might get involved. Might depend how the government leaders of the given state react to the circumstances based off of how they're feeling that day. But can the pecs of a lion humanoid have chest hair, be sweaty, and be strong enough to hold in a robo-extendo fist? Well, yes. If their muscles are dense enough, then they can probably do it in the given amount of pecs that's displayed. However, if it was normal density for a human or a lion, it'd probably have to be bigger than what's displayed, depending on however much force is behind the robo-extendo fist being pulled back into the arm. Oh, it just came to me. The Robo-Man fisted the Lion Man's chest with his extendo arm. Now, can a squirrel humanoid give birth to a lion squirrel humanoid at will, with enough sentience within the thing for it to know what to do and know how to speak? Well, that depends on the instincts it has, and if it was able to hear enough while it was inside of that pink womb to be able to learn language. So, let's say that is covered. Can a squirrel humanoid and a lion humanoid interbreed? Well, given how they are different genders, it is possible that sexual dimorphism plays a role, and if so, they are therefore of the same species, and they can indeed reproduce. However, can a squirrel humanoid have said child within it? Short answer, yes. Long answer, if there were to be mutations within the baby, then that could lead to it. However, specific, precise alterations to the DNA with the use of our good friend, not sentient, therefore kinda not friend, but isn't really our friend, but kinda is CRISPR. I butchered that. Let me rephrase that. Well, CRISPR can change the DNA of the child to allow such offspring to come from the womb, regardless of what semen went into the whatever egg, unless the DNA within was not something that used chemicals that CRISPR was able to alter, because DNA is made out of 4 chemicals. 2 bases, 2 acids. Each base pairs with an acid. However, perhaps, if it were to replace or add DNA using the DNA chemicals known to us, humans, as far as the civilians that aren't involved with government secret projects involving aliens that have different chemicals in their DNA is concerned. Using that DNA chemicals, that DNA chemical cocktail could potentially be added to there to create said baby, if said DNA can be read by the things, the ribosomes within this squirrel humanoid that are constructing the proteins that form the baby. Depending on how you word things, you can sound either nice about it or absolutely terrible about it. Strange, even if they mean the exact same thing. Strange how the human mind works.
Anyway, where was I?
Oh yeah. Okay, so the quick-drying, rock-hard milkies that came from the 6 or 8 boobed cow humanoid. This depends on how compressed the quick-drying milkies are. If it possessed enough muscle of appropriate strength, no, we are going to disregard whether or not any known muscle can do this, because I don't know enough about every known muscle to determine it, but liquids can be condensed. And, well, could it break a bikini? Who knows? That depends on what the bikini is made out of. So let's go with the yes. It can break the bikini. That's containing these 6 or 8 boobs. And, well, what about it drying hard? Well, it's not milk, it's milkies. They would just say milk if it was truly milk. But no, they say milkies. And because it's milkies, that's the perfect excuse to say, no, it is not quite milk. Though it may be similar. No, it's white like milk. It came from a being that is black and white like a cow. And it has hooves like a cow, and it has a tail like a cow. So it also has more than 3, glands for milk. So yeah, probably at least similar to milk. And could it dry that quickly? There are plenty of things that dry quick enough to say, you know what, maybe. And hey, maybe it hardens so quickly because the milkies need to be kept at a hot temperature to avoid being hardened. And room temperature just has to be enough to harden it. And could the cow humanoid generate enough heat? Well, there are bugs that can boil water, and creatures that can live in volcanoes, and mammals produce their own heat. So it's not exactly going to be too surprising if there's something that can produce 1 degree above room temperature or more. Which would be it. And if it's 1 degree or more above room temperature, then that's technically enough for it to melt. And hey, and lower temperatures can melt things slower than hotter temperature things, and lower temperatures can cook foods, even if they are lower than what is given to cook said food. It just has to be applied for longer. Same thing applies to melting things. So yeah, the milkies being hard and coming from the others, boobs, well, they could have been injected there or generated by the cow humanoid. So there we go. part of this sign's already done.